Hello, everyone. Welcome to Verbose Wednesday.
Sorry about that. I had a little bit of echo there, so I was hearing the introductions. I'm like, we're live? Like, oh, wait, okay, we are. And we're live! As Matt says, you're watching Verbose Wednesdays. I'm Robert Lee, the executive video producer and founder of ShaLaLaLa Productions, where we create marketing videos, as well as providing live streaming service to the educational and medical field, as well as especially in pop culture. And I'm here with
Matt Haas. I have some YouTube channels, these two particularly, and I'm a YouTube expert. Glad to be here.
Indeed he is. And while we're on the subject of YouTube expert, it was pretty neat the days are blurring. Was it last week or the week before we were on with Bob Cargill talking about marketing?
A couple weeks ago. Artfully Blind with Diana's here. Hi, Diana.
Good to see you, Diana.
Love audio production, and Joy Jacks are here too. Welcome.
Thanks for coming on, everyone. Yeah, so it was a couple weeks ago. It was a blast to be able to talk about all things related to video production. Be able to hear Matt share his thoughts and expertise in YouTube, and just everything that falls in between it in the marketing, video production, YouTube, and everything. All
yeah, that Bob, he's a cool guy. He posts a lot of videos all over the social medias, and I catch them. It's usually just little snippets, him sharing his knowledge and sharing his tips. I've been really digging it. He's going for it for sure. Yep.
So I was because I know the work that you've done, as well as what Bob's done in the social media realm, that for the two of you to meet virtually and to be able to compare notes, that was the highlight for me. So I had to be careful not to geek out and go, ah! Oh, I still do that, but for different reasons. But
the geeks get talking. Gets fun.
Exactly. And speaking of fun, just give me a second here if I can just find the button. It was here a minute ago. Oh, okay. Just a reminder that for those that are interested in a verbose, this is out of work. For a verbose shout out, right. If you watch on episode 12, is steps as to how you can sign up for it, and just like we did for Sammy, who's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Sammy!
Happy birthday, Sammy!
We'll if you send us the information as to what you like shout out, what's a website, a YouTube channel, we'll be able to take care of that. So, God, I feel like I'm showing my age, what we were talking about earlier. Right. So yeah, it was indeed I just had a blast just to see you and Bob, just comparing notes and everything. So, and it was nice of him that he sent over those video clips for us to be able to use. But I think he had beat me to the punch, so it just made it easier for me to reshare some of the clips that he had of us. So, especially when he spoke, he had a short clip of you, to your point about. It was just being human.
He clipped out some of my words of wisdom. That was fun.
Exactly. And although I was a little surprised that he actually went through using some screen cap of me going, because I thought I looked like one of those flies that hit the windshield of a car.
Well, that's what happens when you're on video. They can take any frame that they want and highlight it.
Exactly. But I thought before we get into the topic of the day, just wanted to hear an update on the Yes program that you've been running.
Oh, it's going good. I have one more video, one more lesson to put together. There was originally going to be 8, but there's going to be 7 because I sort of merged a couple lessons together. And it's a challenge. Like the one time I sent out an email, but I only sent it to one person. I didn't send it to all 50. Some people got it late, and but like anything, first time through, you're taking notes and, oh, I didn't think about that. You write it down so that never happens again. So I will do another challenge like that in the future. And I learned a lot through this, but it's going good. People are doing lessons. Things are getting tricky now because this is a video editing challenge that I'm doing. It's called the YES Challenge, the YouTube Essential Skills Challenge, YES, YouTube Essential Skills. And it's all about video editing because a lot of the people we run around with are all about the live streams. Well, you know what? There's a whole other world, video editing, and I thought I could bring some of that knowledge forward. And of course, all of my lessons were focused on doing things that get the retention, get people watching the whole way through, because YouTube doesn't like it when they only watch part of your video. So a lot of these video editing techniques are easy, and they help with that. So it's going good. Got one more lesson to go, and we'll see. We'll see. This last lesson is going to be a doozy. It's going to be a lot of fun. Probably a little more difficult, but a lot of fun nevertheless. So stay tuned.
All right, I'll be looking forward to look out for it. So it's definitely fun, just for the fact that to the point you raised earlier, just the ability to up your game with that video editing. Not only to just be able to demonstrate examples of just ways to get the viewer's attention, but just also to add a nice dimension to what's being posted out there and help you stand out from what others are posting on YouTube as well as other video content.
For sure, for sure.
And that's my Captain Obvious point for the day on that one. All right. So let me hang on. I think earlier, as I was trying to clean up my dashboard on vMix here, I might have moved some of the stuff around. So some of the things I had queued up were kind of like jostled. So that's why I'm kind of like trying to remember where I put it. So if you just give me 1 second.
All right.
Oh.
While you're doing that, I will show the audience the new addition to my set. Notice Darth Vader back there. Do you notice anything different happening? I put a red light underneath him. So here the red light's off, and now he's more menacing with the red light on. Does that make the show more entertaining? I don't know if it does or not, but it's there nevertheless.
You can insert the heavy Darth Vader breathing for effect later, folks, if you're watching it on your own.
Yeah, I'll drop that in post. How about that? Did you find the buttons? Do you know where the buttons are?
Yeah. How come it's... Hang on. Why is it not playing?
I guess he didn't. I thought he did.
I did, but it's... There we go. And we're back! Sorry.
Slap like now.
So, as promised earlier, it was to talk about just camera buying. And it was just the idea that I think that a lot of the content out there, although they provide like great recommendations on product testing of the cameras for folks for different purposes, with live streaming or you filming video production, or for fun, I think where it's missing is that just providing like a buying approach as to what to look for in buying a camera. So let's see if I can get this to work. There we go. It's the idea of just being able to get in that right mindset as to what to look for when you're purchasing. Let me just get us back here. There we go. So I thought it'd be fun to be able to share with you like the camera that I bought as to like what are the criteria or the things I look for when I buy a camera. And so that the buying process, just getting to think about what to look for, can help you decide the type of cameras that you need for your efforts. Because everybody's purpose as to why they buy a camera is different. And so just imagine giving you some of the ideas as to what to look for in a camera. So like for me in the video production, because I use it professionally, it's a lot different than those that are as I like to say, like video enthusiasts that purchase cameras. So let me just. It works so well in practice. Okay, it did come up. Okay, so some of the things that I looked out for when we talk about cameras. The first point, when I talk about versatility, because for the purposes that I use for the camera, not only that I need something that's long lasting, in other words, it doesn't conk out after the first production, but just one that has the features that I need that'll help me do a variety of work, as well as making sure that it's long lasting, so that it's because I usually I know this is a weird way to phrase it, but I think you'll get the idea. Like, I usually buy things till it's on its like last legs, just because I want to get not only just get the most out of the camera, but just because of just trying to make sure be able to get the most out of the function.
I hear you, Robert. I run my gear until it falls apart.
Yeah, so like for me, like before I had bought this new desktop, I think I had one that was about like a 15-year-old computer.
No,
and it was just a matter that I would just do like the constant upgrades, and just it wasn't until like right after I maxed out, because once I needed something to keep up with the video editing, that's when I bit the bullet in terms of having a computer that can keep up with the video demands. So that's what I meant by a long shelf life. And let me just try to throw this up here. Just a step back in terms of versatility. This is a close-up shot of the camera that I use. In fact, what I use for live streaming, and it's the Sony NX5U. And sorry about that. Computer's misbehaving right now. And the things I look for in the camera are the types of functions needed, whether it's I think for those that also follow the live stream pros, and they had a segment earlier today where they talk about green screen, and the point I don't know if it went through, because I just enjoy the topic about green screen, just because I understand what are the pros and cons of trying to do that with the live streaming production. But the good thing about this camera is just that it allows me to adjust the shutter speed, so that when you try to film something with green screen, sometimes you get that kind of a greenish glow, whether it's almost like that green glow, like it's almost like that you have like a green aurora right around you, or if you try to like move around.
Now you said what were you adjusting? The
shutter speed of the camera.
Shutter speed.
Right.
How does shutter speed? I gotta talk to you off the show, because how does shutter speed impact video? Because the shutter stays open.
I think
it doesn't close. I don't know.
It's just the idea of just being able to regulate the speed of the camera that's filming, as well as how much light's coming in. So that
no, see, there's something missing there. I mean, I'm following all the rules, because I shoot at 60 frames a second, and I have my shutter speed 1/125, and you're supposed to double the shutter speed, so 60, and 60 is 120, but there is no 120 on the camera. 125 is the closest, so I do that. But all right, we'll take that we'll park that, please. We'll take that offline.
Right. So so to the point earlier, it was just a matter of just looking at the types of the function that I need to be able to do like green screen shots, the ability to be able to film documentaries, as well as to film conferences. So let me see if I can pick up the other image I
Just
had.
a heads up, we have a superstar in the house. Sammy Superstar just showed up. Sammy, Robert and I both said happy birthday to you earlier, but happy birthday again, brother.
Happy birthday, Sammy. Thanks for coming on.
Everyone stay off the roads in New Jersey, because Sammy is eligible to be behind the wheel now. I'm just kidding.
So,
right, sorry.
No worries. So, so I mean, this is just an example of the cameras I use when I'm filming like a conference, conventions. So just to be able to film in long form, I know some of the DSLR cameras, when you're recording, goes up to like 15 minutes before it shuts down, and that's just it's it's a weird. It was more. I think it was
Well,
more of
that's a consumer camera type problem. 15 minutes before it shuts down, right?
um. Yes and no. I mean, I know there's some cameras like the some of the Canon DSLRs, like the 6070D. They record up to 15 minutes, and then it just cuts off, and you have to like keep recording. And so that's just more like a way around of for those videographers that travel whenever they go abroad. I think they classify a camera as one that's if it's filming less than 15 minutes or less, and if it's more, then
Yeah.
it bumps them up as a video camera, and there's like high taxes you have to pay for. So,
Yeah, it's an
wait,
international thing where they'll ding you on imports if it's under a certain classification. But these broadcast cameras, they don't have that limitation. The broadcast cameras, you can run them till they overheat.
correct.
Or,
And so that actually brings up another point about the versatility is just that for me, let me just see if I can get that image. Now, just the back of the camera there. There's a couple things. One, it has an HDMI port that allows me the flexibility to be able to like connect to either the computers, because the broad the broadcast cameras they have like an SDI connection. So I need to be able to have a camera that has that, so that if I wanted to, or if I'm needed to do any broadcasting stuff like for network, these cameras allow me to plug into those TV trucks, and for me, a concern I had like with cost was that some cameras have like specific kind of like weird configuration of the types of media cards that you need to use, and so for me, like I just like to be able to get something that I'm not like limit as the type of cameras I need to use if I ever need to plug the media card into like a computer or some other type of camera. And so these have like the SDHC slots that you can see on the left there to the wire there. But if it's something even more long form, it does have like a connection to connect like a hard drive. I think it's up to like back then. I think I bought this like 7 years ago. It had like a 128 gig drive, so that I was able to plug into that. But now you can get like an SDXC card that's
what kind of
120.
connection connects the drive to the camera? Is it like a proprietary connector, or is it?
To the camera itself, yeah, it has like I can't remember like what the pattern of the connection into the camera. But if I were to download the footage into like a computer like that, it runs off of God, I can't remember what they're called, but they I had a wiring here, but it's not like a mini HDMI, but
It's not like a USB-C, or it's
no,
probably like a serial cable or something.
no, it's not that. It's not a Type C, but it's like an earlier model of if I can remember it, I'll dig it out. But I thought I had one here at the show, but
Like a high-speed USB type thing.
it's a well, actually, you know what? Let me see if I can read that.
Okay, it's not important. It's not.
Yeah, it's I don't know if you can see this, but no, you can't see that. Well, I could. No, I don't have the can. Anyway, it's just one that you can plug into you can plug the hard drive into the computer if you ever need to upload the footage. So, just to be
Okay.
able to have that option is pretty cool. And plus, the camera does have an XLR audio port to be able to connect to like shotguns and stuff like that. So,
Oh, just a heads up. Love Audio Productions says, "Hey Robert, I've entered the new competition similar to the one you won recently." So,
oh yeah,
yeah.
it's it was the it oh sorry about that, guys. So it was VMix was doing a contest again. They announced yesterday to be able to get upgrade to the VMix Pro, and so that's what Paul was referring to. I was fortunate to enter it in August, where and I still thank my brother profusely to win it. So So that's the reference that Paul made, and I'm hoping he gets it, just because I know he's been doing a lot of work with the vmix. So looking forward to hear how that turns out for you, Paul. Okay.
Cool.
Oh, let me just get back to the slide here if I can get that work. And there we are. Yeah, so it was just a matter of just being able to have that flexibility to have different types of options to be able to download, upload media cards, whether it's computer or to be able to use like different cameras, either if I have to use like a different camera for whatever reason. Let me just see if I can get the last slide. Yep. So, but bear in mind that once you've already identify like what you're looking for in a camera, that there's some things you need to look out for in terms of the trade-off. One for me was the form factor, where in the earlier image I showed, I mean, it's not a camera that you can carry around lightly like you can like with a DSLR or a mobile phone, and for long extended shoots, you definitely want to have like tripod to be able to mount on. So there's in some ways it does take away from the mobility options, where you really do need some durable sticks, I would say, but tripods or other things to be able to move around with it. But in terms of to be able to film long form films like the conventions and the conferences, it was a no-brainer for me to be able to sacrifice that. Upgrade, I think now that how like Sony, Canon, and those others, they're constantly upgrading the cameras, either interesting new line. It's just a matter of just being able to know, like for me, what are some things I can continue to upgrade versus ones where you can't really do anything about if it's about function or form. For me, I know like the big thing was that the batteries it takes, I think they're like let's see what they call it. They call L batteries just because it says L. I know that there's some other products like some of the Icon lights or some of the LED, they run on these batteries. So the fact that if I'm not using it for cameras, just the fact that I can still cannibalize and use some of the batteries to other functions, that was something that I look forward to. So that if it's something where, if for whatever reason, if the camera line discontinues, which I believe it has, that there's still some of the parts or the accessories that I could still use for other gear that I use. And again, to the third point, accessories.
That's a good point.
Just the fact that depending on what I need for different shoots, just to be able to have some specific accessories to be able to do different shots. Now, the thing about this camera here is a fixed lens, meaning I can't like take the lens off like you can like with a DSLR to change it. So there are some companies that offer like the lens mount adapters. So if I want to do like a wide shot, I could mount like another lens on top of that to wide it out. And just a matter of just knowing like the different vendors that have that type of have those types of parts to be able to do that. So it's just a matter of to keep in mind as to the things that are available when you buy a certain line, that if there's still either other vendor, third party vendors that you complement your camera to the different shoots, or just making sure that it's one that's a reputable or a well-known company where they don't phase out their cameras too quickly. So let me get back to here. So those are just some of the things that just the share as to
Nice.
what to look out for. Now, the one thing I'm looking forward just to hear from you, Matt, was like when you were buying your camera there, just like some of the things that you were looking for and what you had switched from what you were using earlier.
Sure. Well, like many of my buying decisions, I bought out of frustration because I'm the type of person that uses my gear to the fullest. I understand all the features and I push it as far as I can go. Even my webcam on my laptop, I used a third-party app called Eyeglasses which is made by the same company that makes Ecamm, just to boost the webcam. But what made me get the Sony, I have the Sony a6100, was I was using this guy here. So this is an old Canon camera. This is like the lowest consumer brand kind of camera that Canon makes. And Ecamm came out with a feature that you can take the USB connector, which was really just meant to transfer files to a computer, but it started sending video out the USB cable. So I was like, oh, I can stop using my webcam, because I had upgraded to a C920, you know, like a proper third-party webcam. But I'm like, now I can use my real camera for streaming. And I was streaming via the USB cable. But I was never really sure that it was full screen. I didn't know if it was cropping it in. And I wasn't sure if it was 1080. Like, for all I know, it could have been 720. It was probably 720. But it was working. But the lens that I had is a very mid-range. It's the kit lens, so it's 5.6 f-stop, which is not very good. You want the lowest number. What that means is everything was very dark. So I had a very dark vibe going on. I flooded myself, the foreground, with light, but the rest, it was like very, very dark. And I used colored lights to try and punch it up. It just wasn't working. So this camera was giving me a better image, but it was still, comparatively speaking to what else is out there on the market, it was mediocre. So I was dealing with this mediocre image from here, and I was trying to make my webcam better, and the operating system of my computer updated, and the little third-party app that was working with my webcam, my C920, this thing over here, I don't know if you can see it. That's a Logitech C920. That stopped working, where it was kind of working I don't know. The software update made it much harder. So I was dealing with a hard to use software to extend the capabilities of that, because I didn't want to use it out of the box. I wanted to make it better. And I was dealing with the mediocre stuff of this. I was like, that's it. I need a new computer, or a new camera. So the things I was looking for are a better lens with a lower f-stop and clean HDMI out, because this does not have clean HDMI out. Remember, I was using the USB workaround, so I couldn't use the HDMI out on, even though it has an HDMI port, I couldn't use it because it was dirty HDMI. So I wanted clean HDMI, and I wanted a better lens, and I'm like, well, maybe I'm going to buy another Canon. And the Canon has the SL3, and that one does have clean HDMI out. And I was like, okay, I'll just buy the body, and I can reuse this lens. But I'm like, you know what? This is not a good lens. It wasn't a good lens. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to redo the whole thing. So I got the Sony with a better lens, with clean HDMI, and I bought a capture card, and I knew that around December, maybe January, Canon's going to come out with a whole new line. It's going to have clean HDMI, and it would have been a perfect world. But I didn't want to wait, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, maybe January, maybe. I mean, that's too long. I was like, so I broke down and I bought my Sony a6100, and I haven't looked back since. I love it. I mean, it's great. Is this a good picture? I think this is a good image. I really like it. Yeah. So it's frustration. Mediocre, plus this third-party software to extend the features started skitzing out on me. And I was just like, I've had it. The solution is throwing money at the problem. So I threw money at the problem.
And it looks like Sammy does agree that Sony is better.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I mean, sometimes it's always fun that we're like 21 shows in. So to compare the first show to the current show, and just to kind of compare like how the looks are, you could tell the difference with the camera that you're using before to now. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm totally happy with this camera. I love it. You know, it's funny. My friend says, "Hey Matt, you know, my daughter's going to be cheerleading. Can I borrow one of your cameras?" I was like, "Sure." He says, "I'd sure like your new camera." I'm like, "No." He goes, "Well, it's going to be on a day when you're not live streaming." I'm like, "No." I'm like, no is a complete sentence. Capital N-O, period. No other explanation is needed. I was like, you want this one? I could set you up with this one. And I have a telephoto lens for this one. And you know, so I set it up for him. I put it on the sports mode. I put the telephoto lens on it. I made sure autofocus was on. Like I said, turn it on and press the button. That's all you got to do. And it was fine. But I'm like, no, you're not walking out with a $1,300 investment to go shoot your daughter at cheerleading. Not happening. It's like, I love you, brother, but that's not happening. Anyway.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, and if when folks ask me that same question, I'm kind of like, I have no words, just because like. It's what you want to shoot is different than what I use it for shoot for. So, but then sometimes like if they like look to hire me, then that's a different story. But I said the only way they're going to be able to use that if I'm there to use it. But that's another story as to.
Yeah. I've read some Reddit threads where, cameramen are doing underwear shoots and some pretty risque type things, and they're hired to do that. And the model's like, you go in the other room and I'll use the equipment myself. And the guy's like, yeah, that's $15,000 worth of equipment. I'm not leaving the room. He's like, we can shut the whole thing down now, or I can run the equipment. You choose. Yeah. It's like, it's not like I've never seen anyone in their underwear before, so get over it.
Which leads to the other point of just me just saying of a big advocate of pre-production where you're able to iron out those challenges. But yeah, to your point, it's a big difference there for sure. Yeah. Unless you like.
Now here's my thoughts on the production level gear, and since you own production level gear, you sort of set me straight if I get something wrong. But
okay.
And a lot of this reinforces some of the points you did, but is a little different. I think of that stuff is it's the workhorse. Like, it's not going to stop working. And that's one of the benefits for getting a big production camera that you put on your shoulder or you slap on a heavy-duty tripod. So that is, in my opinion, a big sell for that type of camera. You can rely on it.
Yeah. I mean,
some of this consumer stuff, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird for me to say this, but it's almost like it has that kind of a disposable mentality where they're always looking to upgrade the earlier model with something new to entice consumers to purchase. But for me, it's just a matter of just something where every time you buy a camera, it's a significant investment, and so I'm looking at the long game of just making sure that not only it's built to last, but it's just in terms of just durability and just being able to do what I need to do is important. So or in other ways, but yeah.
I mean, photographers that do photography, it's the glass, like the lenses, they'll keep their entire life, and they'll just swap out the body. Like, that's like a typical use case if you're a photograph photographer. But like you said, your lens is built into the camera. You can't pop that lens off.
Yeah, I mean that was the one thing I missed out when I was looking out for is just that I forgot the check if it was like a variable length where I can just be able to swap out, but because of the other features that I needed, I mean it just if anything it minimized the type of buyer remorse in terms of investing in the camera, and I mean as is evident, I'm still using it. As in fact, I'm using it right now as a it's slight overkill, but to be able to use it as a webcam. So, but yeah,
For
I
sure.
mean, yeah, glasses is the like you say is the big thing as well as just knowing like the type of sensor the camera has. Just that,
Well, that's the other thing. Those big production cameras tend to have a small sensor.
yeah, I know like they've gone from focusing on ones that have like a crop sensor where you're able to punch in for something that's a full sensor that you can get like the
Do
wide
they have
shot.
full? I didn't think any of those broadcast cameras have full size sensors.
Oh, sorry, I meant like at least with the DSLR cameras where before it was a focus from
Right.
focus to now the full. I I'd have to like look into it as to like which ones if they have looked into like the full sensors on the cameras. But yeah, but
Now, Sammy Superstar says they do not. He's also getting ready for his party, so we'll understand if you have to jump. I don't know how much longer we're going to be on here anyway, but
yeah, I
yeah,
mean it's
cool.
pretty much. I'm just making sure I covered all the points here. Yeah, I mean if anything, I mean the only other thing I would add to it is just that in terms of being aware of the accessibility accessories. It's going to be more like a tomato thing with that word. With just looking at for the types of accessories you can get for the camera is just knowing like where you can purchase it. So like for me, when I bought these cameras 7 years ago, I think they had discontinued about 3 or 4. But the fact that there's still a lot of shooters that still use the camera, that even like with some of the professional either Facebook groups or some of the forums, they do have like those classified sections so that you're able to, if not purchase from vendors, at least other professionals that either looking to upgrade. So just to be able to know where you can go to purchase like either additional parts or just knowing others that have the I was almost gonna say accessibility, but the accessories that you need.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
another thing. So, and Sony's is a big name that it hasn't been a problem. So, but then again, I'm kind of like my brother, where I'm always looking for good deals. So, where something like that, like a part like for the external storage for the footage, it used to run like about like 5 or 800. Now you can get it like either slightly used or refurbished. You can get it for 150. So, so it's so you can if you know where to look, you can definitely find the buys too. So
I like when prices go down. That's always good.
yeah, it's annoying where you have to like wait for like the Black Friday or
Mm-hmm.
Prime deals. So to know
Sure.
those, so that's just a matter of just having an eye for where to go to get it. Um, that was that was the. I always feel a little naked when I feel like I run out of points to say, but those were the major points
No, it's
in
good.
terms of
It's good.
camera.
I like the slides. I like the bullet points. It kept you focused. It was thumbs up for that behind the scenes production flow.
Yeah,
I dig it.
it was one also. Maybe it might be another topic I might look into. Is just I'm curious of the types of graphics or software out there that folks use for live streaming versus for those that use it for presentations or for something that's produced. I mean,
Creative Cloud, baby. That's everything you need.
yeah, I know like for some that if they're looking for something that's alternative, I know some people use like the slides I use was Microsoft PowerPoint, and that what's neat about vmix is that I have like a built-in a PowerPoint mode. So like if I'm dealing with a client that has like slides that use PowerPoint, we can just upload it directly. But I know I'm talking to a graphic designer here.
No Microsoft Office products. No. 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 No,
I,
no, 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 no.
I would talk about the comic fonts, but I know your stance on that. So
Comic Sans font? No, no, don't use that either. No, I mean, if you don't want Photoshop, for example, GIMP is the free version out there. It's a little more clunky to use, but my brother, for example, he has a YouTube channel called Banner Knowledge Bowling. He just got monetized. Well, he got monetized 4 months ago, and he got his first check from Google. So he was yesterday, $118 went in his bank account. I thought that was cool. Anyway, he doesn't have Photoshop because he doesn't want to pay $15 a month for it. So I set him up with GIMP, and he does his thumbnails with GIMP. Canva is good, yeah. So you can't discount some of these things like Canva because it's graphic design built into the system. In other words, people have made good graphic design decisions. You take the template and you type in your own words over the template words, and you've got cool backgrounds, and you've got cool thumbnails, and you've got, yeah, definitely.
yeah. I mean, lately, I think right when the pandemic start, I know that there's a lot of like those smaller online companies starting to offer like templates for like title graphics for YouTube channels and for live streams. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's going to be if it's not already big enough, it's another big thing. Just in terms of anytime you can find ways to simplify your workflow, like those templates that you can use for thumbnails, graphics, and stuff like that, the better.
Well,
so.
I mean, yeah, I've got lots of little. Maybe we can make a show out of that because. Let me throw out one graphic tip, and maybe we'll kind of close this topic. Dropbox. Okay, I've got several computers. They all have Dropbox. I've got a folder on Dropbox called Vital, and inside the Vital, and it's shared everywhere. And inside the Vital is all of the logos. I've got this logo. I've got that logo. I've got the Piano Awesome logo. And I've got everything that I use over and over again. Try to make these the same size on screen. Anyway, that helps. That helps. And I've got a couple other templates and things like that. It's because I always look for it. My avatar, like my Facebook profile photo.
Yeah.
That's in there. So when I signed up for, what was it? Minds.com. Mm-hmm. Well, I need a profile photo. Boop, comes right out in there. Anyway, so that's one of my my things is you put the stuff that you use all the time in a shared folder that's on Dropbox, and it's on every machine. And of course, I have the free Dropbox, so I can only use 2 gigs or less. But still, I mean, this is, a 500 kilobyte ping file. It's just that's next to nothing, So yeah, that's what I do.
Okay, yeah, that it's definitely something I've been looking at. I mean, just in terms of just finding like I don't know if I would say elegant, but just stuff to help streamline the workflow. Anything
it's like the thing about being successful online and being a content creator, you have to be a graphic designer. Like, you've got to be able to like push pixels around. You got to be able to make something transparent. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to put borders on things. You got to be able to add text. You got to be able to add other elements to the image. You need to be able to create this stuff, because I worked with some friends and some family, and they're like, oh, and they just can't. It's such a hard thing. Like, you don't realize how many of these graphic things you need to create to run a business. Like, you think, oh, I got my logo, I'm good to go. No, you got to make thumbnails, you got to make banners, you've got to make little marketing blurbs, you've got to post stuff to Twitter. Like, why not post a photo to Twitter with your logo in? Like, can you take a photo out of a camera and slap your logo over top of the photo? Some people can't do that step. Like, you need to get on it. Like, there's some basic skills you need. And if you don't have them, it's very hard to run a successful YouTube channel or run a successful anything. Anyway, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, especially like if you're having trouble if you have like an image on the monitor and you're trying to make sure you want to put the logo above here and not have it like that, or it's a big difference. And I know, like when I was trying to get used to using like Adobe Illustrator, it took me a while to find the button to be able to bring the images and rearrange it.
Layering, yeah, layering is really tough. Thank God I am a Adobe Illustrator certified expert. Like, I took the test. And anyway,
yeah,
I did it for my work. I used it was so great. Went to high school, went to college. Out of college, I was hired. All I did was use Illustrator 8 hours a day. You know how fast you become an expert for using Illustrator 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday? Oh, man, it was so awesome. I love using that program. That's my favorite program. And I love the look of line art. I just love it. That clean lines, solid shapes, although you can do gradients, stuff like that. I love the look of it. It's so amazing. Anyway.
Oh, Diana says, I like Canvas and have Pro through work. Oh, okay.
Canva's that that's the web app that's like makes you do thumbnails and banners and things. Yeah, Canva's fun. I have a free account and I use it sometimes. And like Adobe has a free thing called Spark. It's on the phone only. It's an app, Android and Mac, and you can put all of your assets for your company in there. So I put in Awesome with Things logo, and I put in my colors and things like that. So when I take a photo on the phone, I can compose an Instagram post on the phone, and I can put, you know, a green bar, and I can put white text inside the green bar, and I drop in my logo, and I can shrink the photo and have a green border, and you know, I can do all the things. And so what I'll do is I'll be in my workshop, because I have a wood shop. I have Awesome with Things. And I'm like, oh, okay, I want to take a picture of this stage of the build process, like maybe before I paint it. I'll take a picture and I'll pretty it all up in this with the with the border and the logo and the this and the font, and even the font that I use, it's in there. And then I can post. I don't have to come upstairs to the computer and take the photo off the phone and mark and, you know, compose the graphic. I could do it all with Adobe Spark. Spark is the product. It's a cool little product. It's 100% free. You don't even have to have an Adobe account. Why not get it?
I know, like, I think it was when we had, I was almost going to say, I didn't say Chris Weiner. I said when we spoke with Chris Ware, I know he spoke of Spark and he speaks highly of it. So it's good to know of just other users that use that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't do it for you. You know, you still got to work it. But the point is, with a couple swipes and a couple, like, you can fight through it. Now, Canva, you can download the template and it's basically done for you. So Canva is sort of like a step up from Spark. But, you know, hey, if I can bang out more content without leaving my shop, because that's, anyway, Spark. I like Spark.
I mean, there's a couple of online tools I used before. I was a little bit enlightened of some of the things you can do within Adobe, but that's probably maybe a future show of just to share some of the tools I use, whether it's for thumbnails or some of the art I use for like social media posts and stuff like that. Like when I did when I was promoting the episode where we had Chris, I used Canva to create that art on, I think it was LinkedIn, which is another subject I'll get into another time, and some others. But yeah, I mean, I just like the idea of, just like you say, of just being able to add the image here, add the logo there, anything like that. Just you know, anything to help get up there and get what you need to. I'm all for. I mean, I'm all for. So
I should do a. Here's the minimum you need to do in graphic design to be successful. And give a couple tips.
Do it. That'd be a good one.
I think that would be fun. Because, yeah.
So to your point, that may be something we may look into for a future episode. But hang on, I gotta find where the heck the overlay is. This it? Nope, that's not it.
Getting hot in here.
Yeah. This it? Nope, that's not it. I know it's here somewhere.
Push the buttons.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Okay. Just a couple of reminders. Again, for those that are interested to try to help hospitals and the frontliners with their live streaming efforts, whether it's promote a cause or promote awareness, if you click on the link in the description below, be glad to help out in any way I can. And again, for those looking for information regarding with Black Lives Matter, it's blacklivesmatter.com as well as the NAACP.org are great resources. Found it. Okay. So I think that's about it. Matt, were there any other final thoughts you want to offer to everyone?
Get a good lens, get clean HDMI out, and be awesome. That's my final words.
And for me, it's just a matter of just knowing what your goals and purposes are when you're looking to buy a camera, and just keep in mind of just some of the functions to look out for before purchasing, so that way, you're good to go. And of course, as always, if anyone have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to me by leaving a comment below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Matt, what's the best way you wrap up when you want to encourage others to share and like the video?
I say slap like now. Subscribe. Ring the bell.
I got to work on that, folks. That's on me, but I just thought that since Matt's done it more than I have, because I tend to wrap up differently, it's always good to defer to Matt. So with that,
join my Facebook group.
And then for me, it's just a matter that the information's in the descriptions for the video you're watching here, whether it's YouTube or Facebook. So on that note, you've been watching Verbose Wednesday. Appreciate for those that are able to watch us live, and if you're watching on the replay, leave a hashtag replay. I think that's what people use. Just curious to know how people are watching us and when. And that's about it. So again, stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching, and we'll do it again. Same time, same bat channel. Same time, same live stream channel.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
What he said. Ooh, I got it right before I've been doing like this, but okay, I'm getting better. All right, folks, take it easy.